You gonna rap?
No,
All
I'm
right.
gonna let you rap.
You gonna let me rap?
Yeah. I'm gonna let you spit a couple bars this time.
Full Nelson and MC TechFall in the house. Got the set. Got the set working, still clicking his mouse. Shit.
I see the Zombie Squad tapestry in the background. I'm loving it.
Zombie Squad tapestry on the wall. Nobody can do it better than me except for MC TechFall. Oh, all right. That's it. That's about it for the bars. That's about it for the bars. We just go out and drink beers at the bars. Bars. Do I have bars? What bars? Going to the bars. What's new, man? Drummer of Rolling Stones passed away today.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's a big hit to the music business, music industry.
The music industry. You know. Yeah, I mean, he was 80. You know, he almost didn't join Rolling Stones.
Really? Why not?
I don't know. He didn't want to or something. Like I was reading a little bit of this article, and they approached him to join. His jazz was always his first big love. Like I guess when he started drumming, he was more of a jazz drummer than he was like a rock and roll drummer. And the Rolling Stones always had like this blues type of influence with their music. But I guess so. I think what was it in 70? I think in 72 they approached him. He didn't join right away. But then no, I'm sorry, 62. Did I say 72? 62.
Yeah.
62. 1962 they approached him. I don't think he joined it, but I don't think he finally agreed to join until 63. But he was always a part of all the big hits, like from the get-go. Satisfaction, all those big hits.
Yeah.
So anyway, what's new on the TechFall side? What's new with you, man? Let's talk about stuff. Let's explore each other's feelings and emotions.
What we do.
That's what we do. We don't do it anywhere else. So this is like we're men. We're not allowed to we're not allowed to talk about our emotions. We're not allowed to talk about our feelings and express ourselves. So I created a platform so we can do that and not be made fun of. Because I don't like to use the word, but like men that want to like express themselves are considered like what's a PC word? They're soft. They're fancy. Oh, you're so fancy. You want to explore your feelings and your emotions. All right, we don't have to do that. But on a podcast, that's what it's about. So
we really sensitive on here.
So how are you feeling today? Are you feeling?
Yeah.
All right, me too.
I'm feeling guys.
I'm feeling exhausted. I did a PT test with some buddies of mine yesterday here on this mysterious island out in the middle of some mysterious location that I'm at for a mysterious period of time. But I did a physical fitness test yesterday and I passed it. I was kind of nervous about the 2-mile run, but I did such a great time. I finished it in such a good time. But now, man, my knee hurts. My right knee.
We're in our 40s, man. It's rough.
Hey, listen. When I was in the no, I'm still in the Army National Guard. But listen, we used to have this other PT test, right? And if you look up the APFT or the ACFT and there's all these different standards and all these different testing criteria. You had a PT test, I'm sure, in the Navy, right? And you had like before I continue, what was the Navy PT test? Like, what did you have to do?
you had to
What was
run
that?
them in a certain time frame, and the time frame went by like what your age category was. And then you had to do push-ups, sit-ups, you sit and reach. You had to meet a certain criteria for the push-ups, a certain criteria for the sit-ups, the sit and reach in a mile and a half. And that was it.
Sit and reach. Huh.
Yeah, remember the sit and reach where you where your legs are extended out and you try to go all the way forward.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, for flexibility.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah.
But I heard like the military has changed things. They're going into a more like, I guess, like CrossFit type PT test.
Well, yeah, it's more combat oriented. It's more realistic. I mean, their basis behind it is that it's more realistic, and I guess it is. It's much harsher than I've ever experienced. But
I mean, you probably really trained for it when it comes up. You know,
dude, we were talking offline a while ago, and it's like everyone's trying to like do what's the new workout? OTX or P90X or CrossFit or whatever the fuck. And like, dude, I'm 41 years old. I'm still doing the fucking workouts that I've been doing.
dude, I've been doing the same workout for 22 years. You know, I play body parts.
Right.
Like
Isolating body parts, one body part a day. And then like the seventh day, just like God, the seventh day I rest.
Like
it's
I
like
did
Jesus.
Chest and triceps was always one day. Back and buys, legs and abs, and shoulders. I dedicated a full day for shoulders because I crushed my shoulders. You know, we were just talking about that yesterday. How we're, you know, you don't have to do all these crazy exercises. Like I can still do my normal lifting that I've been doing for the last 20 years.
Yeah,
and just like superset my workouts, you know, or monster set.
Yeah. Everyone's like, man, I got to invest $2,000 into a Peloton bike, you know, because I got to get the Peloton bike. If I'm going to work out, I mean, the Peloton bike's going to get me to work out. I'm like, no, it's not. You're going to get yourself to work out.
Dude, I bought my bike for $80 from Walmart.
And you use it? Do you use it?
Yeah, I biked like 10 miles the other day.
So, I mean,
you know, I bought a cheap pump and I just pump up the tires and get a little WD-40, you know.
We were talking about supersets and monster sets and like beast sets or whatever the shit they're called these days. And so it's like, okay, you know, I still got to get like 2 to 3 days of cardio in, right? But then I got my certain isolated body part lifts per day. And so like, if I'm off work, I'll run to the gym, which is 2 miles away. And then I'll do a lift and then I'll run back. Now, the problem is based on my schedule, I usually do 5 days on, 6 days off. And a lot of days I might do 2 lifts in one day. If I'm off, I'll do, you know, arms in the morning and then back at arms in the morning, shoulders in the evening, and then the next day. So what might happen, this will be a rough day. If I'm off of work, I'll run 2 miles to the gym, then I'll do legs and back. I'll superset both those body parts for an hour and a half, then run back. That's like a monster day or whatever the fuck. Only because that's just how kind of like the schedule works out. But I'm usually running like 2 miles every other day or every 3 days. And then the schedule is like legs one day, back one day, arms one day, chest, shoulders one day, chest one day. But a lot of times what I'll end up doing is I'm kind of still weak at legs and back over the course of the last 2 years, quarantine and you know, pandemic papa pounds, you know, combined, you know, you got the dad body, you're a new dad, but then you also, is there a glitch going on? You hear me okay?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Okay. So, you know, there's you got the pandemic you got the new dad bod because you just brought home a kid, but then also with the pandemic and the quarantine, and everybody's just drinking beer and eating shit food and not doing anything during the quarantine. But the
Dad bods are in style, man.
huh?
Dad bods are in style.
No, they're not.
The women love the dad bods, man.
The women love the dad bods because they're like, oh, okay, no other woman's going to be chasing my husband around. That's why a lot of wives are like, oh, I love the dad bod because it means you're all mine, and no other women are going to be chasing them around. But the dad's like, I want to get in shape. I want to get in shape.
Dude, a dad bod is like 2 cheeseburgers away from being fat.
Listen,
being fat.
I'm not going to say that the dad bod is a fat bod, but I mean, I'm not going to outright say that, only because I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get canceled on YouTube. I don't want to get pulled on YouTube. But listen, some women claim that they like dad bods, and there's a reason for that. There's a psychological reason why they love their dads and they love their husbands with their dad bod. That's because it means no one else is going to be chasing around. But the dads are like, I really need to be getting in shape. Everybody should stay, relatively fit. But a dad bod is not a healthy bod. I don't think so, personally. And I lost a shitload of weight in the last fucking 5 years. 5 months. 2-mile run, gym, 2-mile run back. If it's a work day, it's just going to be a simple lift, or it's just going to be a 2-mile run. If it's an off day, I'll be running to the gym, lifting. And if my knee can hold it up, I'm gonna run back, or I'll just fucking limp back. That's a 2-mile run and a lift and a 2-mile walk, hobble, limp, or it's a 2-mile run, lift, and 2-mile run. But people are like, oh, there's this new workout. I think it's gonna work. Like, dude, if the last workout didn't work for you, then no workout's gonna work for you. You got to just work out. Don't get me wrong. You have to have some sort of plan or program or schedule, but you got to stick to it. I mean, OTX, P90X, sandbag lifts, CrossFit. You were talking about, like, you went to a fucking Home Depot and bought a bag of sand for $5 and 5 rolls of duct tape for another $5. So you got a 10-pound fucking sandbag you can make handles out of. You can reinforce the bag it comes in. You can make handles out of that duct tape, and you just lift the fucking bag of sand.
I got great workouts over those for that $5 bag of sand from Home Depot.
You remember those duffel bags that they used to give us in the military, like the old school duffel bags? And like you just put some heavy shit in there, and you lift those, you curl those, you fucking shoulder press those, and those are that material. That duffel bag material is tough as fuck, and you could pack a lot of stuff into those duffel bags.
Workout to do with the sandbags that you can get from Home Depot is that you make the handles with the duct tape, and then you piece of rope, loop them through. That's 100 pounds, and you can drag it just like a dummy drag.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many things that you can do for very a little amount of money.
Yeah.
Gorilla tape, sandbags from Home Depot. 2 sandbags and the Gorilla tape will probably cost you, let's say, $15 at the most. In a piece of rope, and you're good.
Piece of rope. I mean, what is it? 50 cents a foot, depending on the gauge of the rope, or however they go about all that. It's just I guess there's a business in reinventing the wheel, like we were talking about reinventing the wheel. Like the tank, I guess we were talking about the Army tank kind of reinvented the wheel and put a tread around multiple wheels. There's a case of reinventing the wheel works, or gears. It's a wheel, but then a gear and a machine has those little teeth and whatever. So there's another reinvention of the wheel back when gears were invented or reinvented. Like, there's a business in reinventing workout programs and starting this whole new craze, man. There's this whole new craze. Have you heard about Beachbody? Have you heard about, oh man, Beachbody's the way to go. Oh man. And what did you see the commercials? I mean, listen, this thing does look kind of badass, but you see the commercials for like this, it's this black cushioned ottoman, and it's got like the bars and the resistance bands and the cables inside of it. And you go outside and you can sit on it and do shoulder presses. You can lay on it, do bench presses, but it's a pole with the cables on it. I wish I was at home at the home studio and I could do like the screen share that I used to do on the podcast. I can't really do it.
You remember like back in the day when Bowflex was like the thing?
Oh my God.
Had so many infomercials on Bowflex.
Dude, Bowflex, when they reinvented their machines, that's when they start. But these huge freaking like metal pipes, and did they ever snap or something? I don't know. But like you got like these metal pipes like banging, and then you got like strap 2 and then you got a strap 3. I bought the Bowflex adjustable dumbbells, and those things are probably 6 or 7 years old now. And they still work amazing. My wife's using them now. Me and my wife used them during lockdown quarantine. Best investment, workout investment at $750. The dumbbells go from 10 to 90s. And I was even thinking like, oh, okay, maybe if I'll spend $500 on the ones that go from like 10s to 50s. But I said, no, let me get like the full throttle. If I'm gonna put $500 into this, I might as well put $750 into it and not be missing anything. Go full throttle. If you're going to invest in something like that, go all the way. So that's why I got the ones that are from 10s to 90s.
Like we were talking about yesterday, like remember the sand weights back in the day, the plastic sand weights?
Those gray plastic wheels with concrete or sand or something inside of it.
It was sand and they were plastic.
Yeah.
They're plates.
Yeah.
You have a barbell and you hook them in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're like cheap. They're getting regular barbell plates. Like York barbell.
Yep. I had a buddy of mine I grew up with, Griffin, and I guess he moved when this was like he graduated high school. When we both graduated high school, I think a couple years after that, he moved out of his parents' house, and he said, I got all these weights, and it was all those plastic ones. You had the gray plastic, and you even had ones that were like the red plastic ones. It was a different name brand, so they had there's red, but it was filled with concrete or sand or whatever. And he gave me all of these freaking weights that he didn't need anymore. They're still at my mom's house. They've been at my mom's house for freaking 25 years now. And my stepdad, almost 80 years old, still like will walk up and down the stairs with one of those in his hand. And he'll just one plate, but he'll do like shoulder and arm workouts and stuff like that, and weighted sit-ups.
They're probably giving those things away nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, just take it.
50 cents at a thrift store.
They'll just give it to you. Say nobody's buying this shit anymore.
Like you could probably just go around and start collecting these things and build your own gym off this. And you could call it the retro gym, and it could just be full of those weights. Dude, because if you're lifting 20 pounds, if you're curling 20 pounds, you're curling 20 pounds. Like people are trying to reinvent the wheel. We were talking about the Bowflex dumbbells. You can't drop them. You can't bang them together. But because, if you drop them, then you might jack up the actual contraption. Whereas you got some of those, what are those called? Ironclad? The ironclad ones, which is like mostly rubber with steel inside, and it's one piece. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Iron Flex or Ironclad or something like that. And those you can drop. Everyone's dropping those. Definitely not dropping them at Planet Fitness, but at real gyms, people are dropping them and shit like that. But You can't really do that with those the old plastic ones with the concrete and the sand inside. You can't do that if they're clipped to a freaking what you call it, if they're clipped to the bar. And you definitely can't drop the Bowflex ones. So what that does is that forces you more engagement if you're going to bring down and finish your workout and like maybe do a sit up and like place them down, and you're like more engaged with the weights.
Do is you're going to get more of a negative. You know, how you come back down, you're getting that negative.
Yep.
Rather than just slamming it down, you're not really. It's not really effective.
Right. And so having used those cheap ones from the fucking 90s and having used the Bowflex ones, even if I'm at a gym with those ironclad ones, I'm not going to, it's kind of like retraining my brain not to drop these things. And so I'm going to like bring them down and like put them down gently, only because that's what I got to do with those other kind of dumbbells. So it's like forcing you to engage that negative rep for safety and for like, you know, avoid damage to your equipment. Didn't you get kicked out of a Planet Fitness one time for the lunk alarm? You set off lunk alarms all the time, don't you?
Set off the lunk alarm.
Oh, you didn't get kicked out, but you set off the lunk alarm.
I think they came up to me and said something.
Huh?
I think they pulled me aside. We had a conversation, but I never kicked out.
We got to have a conversation. We got to have a conversation. No.
Recording in progress.
Fucking computer sucks. The Wi-Fi here sucks, actually.
Wi-Fi sucks?
Yeah, the Wi-Fi sucks here, man.
God, it just cut us right off, man.
Cut us right off, you know. I'm over here like Durko. Man, man, it's not me, man. It's not me. It's the Wi-Fi, man.
The Wi-Fi.
The Wi-Fi's not so good over here, man. You know, it could be better. It's not my fault. The Wi-Fi sucks, man.
You know where he's filming from.
Huh?
I said, you never know where the guy's going to be filming from.
Or you could be like Scotty LP, like, are you joining my podcast from your phone in your car? And just, hey, I'm driving to work.
It was terrible the way it was set up. I was like,
he was still engaged. He was still engaged with the show. It was just like it's like I'm seeing this. It's like okay, that's cool. Hey, listen, the audio was fine and he was engaged in all the conversations.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
I've had people just come in on this show, just audio. That's all they wanted to do. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. That works. What the hell were we talking about? Bullshit workouts?
Yeah, we're talking about working out, man.
Bullshit workouts and stuff like that.
Like Stone Age workouts, man.
Yeah, well. Everyone's trying to make a buck. Oh man, this is the new workout, this new trend, man. This new workout, this new trend. So Sylvester Stallone, speaking of working out, Sylvester Stallone was not properly used in The Suicide Squad. Did you see the Suicide Squad?
No, I haven't seen
the new one. I mean, he did the voice of Killer Shark. I mean, come on. Stallone is a little bit more talented than that.
Very talented guy.
He's a very talented guy. And you're gonna just have him do the voice of a stupid shark. The num num. Shark eat num num. You fucking kidding me?
It was Rocky Balboa that played that, man.
It was like an 80-year-old Rocky Balboa with all that brain damage and exhaustion.
He probably never got his eye fixed.
Clearly he got his eye fixed. I mean, he had an eye. Dude, Rocky 2, he has that eye issue. He goes to fight. He gets his ass whipped again by Apollo Creed and wins. And then all of a sudden, no eye problem in Rocky 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. And then he's got like major brain damage and migraines and like spots and flares and migraines and noises and blinding lights in Rocky 5. And no issues in Rocky 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, or Rocky 6, Creed 1 and 2. None of those issues. He wasn't fighting in Creed 1 and 2, but I guess the brain damage went away too. The brain damage is healed. It's good. You're good. Hey, right? Sir.
Yeah, cancer after 1.
Hey, the eye just all of a sudden works. All right. And brain damage is gone. All right.
And all of a sudden the cancer went away in the second.
That's
Creed.
possible. Well, yeah, that's possible because he was taking chemo. He decided to take chemo. Adonis Creed had talked him into taking chemo, and he was really. I mean, yeah, he looked really, really sick at the end of Creed 1, but I guess he beat it. Yeah, I'm sure they mentioned that in Creed 2.
Yeah, he's Rocky. He beats everything.
Hey, cancer, boom, knocked out, right? Brain damage, boom, knocked out the brain damage. Eye problem, boom, knocked it out. Apollo Creed, Iron Drago, communism, the Berlin Wall, boom, knocked it out, all right? Fatherhood, knocked it out, right? Boom. Best dad ever, right? Boom, knocked it out. Good series of movies, man. What do you want, man? I'm busy. I'm on my podcast. I'm on a podcast that is continuously getting fucked up left and right today. Nothing's working. Wi-Fi is glitching. Phone's going off. I got scam likelies every 15 minutes calling my freaking phone. I hear little glitches. You know, I think I failed to update Zoom. That's probably my fault. I gotta update Zoom every day. Gotta check for updates on Zoom every day. Check for updates. Gotta restart. Check for updates, then restart again. Okay. Freaking computer's not working. Gotta do a reboot.
Hey, we might have to do this thing on Google Hangouts, man.
Google Hangouts. And then bring you in on Google Hangouts and bring Durko in on Skype and then bring my brother in on Zoom and then bring Brian in on Duo and try to fucking somehow bring all those things into something.
Bring somebody else on FaceTime.
Dude, that was a nightmare. I should have just bought the premium version of Zoom then. It would have been so much easier. But that's what I did. I bought the premium version of Zoom. Especially during quarantine. What else are you going to do? Streaming services and, you know, web services and online services, those subscriptions skyrocketed. People were just like, hey, might as well now. Zoom cornered the market on the virtual remote stuff, man.
Yeah, they're killing.
Everybody's on Robinhood. Man, I'm a day trader.
Everybody was on Robinhood.
Yeah. Hey. Keep an eye out on the stock. Keep an eye out on the stock.
Yeah, but you know what? The government
Crypto. Doge.
The government got hip to it. They're like, yeah, we're going to take 40% off the top.
You ain't taking 40% of shit. Yeah, until they do, right?
Dude, they got hip, man. They're like, we're taking 40% off the break. Whatever profits that you make, we're taking 40 of it.
Yeah.
It's like, is it really all that good of a deal anymore?
What, with Robinhood or with crypto?
I mean, with anything. If
I
they're
think
taking 40%, because you have to hold that stock for a year.
I think No, I think you're talking about crypto is the 40% hit, just crypto.
Just crypto?
I think so.
Thought it was the stock market in general was a 40% hit.
I don't, yeah. Well, see, okay. So they were kind of changing laws with the apps. Like Robinhood, you can't take, you can buy and sell like rapidly and do whatever you want within the app. But once you take that money out of the app and put it back in your bank account, that's when you're going to get taxed certain percentages based on certain timeframes of when you pulled that out and when you sold stuff within the app. Because I've been on Robinhood for a while, and then it didn't start, and maybe only because I really started doing a lot during quarantine and the lockdown, is that I started getting statements like quarterly statements from Robinhood, and it's like, dude, I don't have that much money in this, and you're sending me like these quarterly statements, like because of movements, because of movements and whatever. Like, wow, okay, you guys are going ham. And maybe that's because maybe that is some of the laws that you said that they like rapidly changed over quarantine. But as far as the 40% goes, I think that specific number, 40% tax, is for crypto. And I don't know if they passed that yet. They probably did, but I remember, gosh, when were they talking about the 40% crypto thing? They were talking about that in like April or May or something.
And that's a pretty significant hit.
That's a significant hit.
I mean, 40%, Jesus.
Yeah. But I mean, the reason why that is because these cryptos are from all over the planet. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the government hands in everything. They're like, that's the reason why they legalized marijuana, because they knew that they could tax the shit out of it.
Finally, but yeah. I mean, but that's been the argument for marijuana legalization for decades. Just do it.
If they taxed it, there's no way that they would have made it legal. I don't think so.
Yeah. But I mean, you've got damn well you've got some cash croppers out there that are like not counting some satchels, some sacks, we call it some buckets of buds.
I mean, Jesus, somebody walks into a dispensary, spends $1,000 on weed, just like Justin Bieber did. The guy spent like $1,100 on weed in like 4 minutes, but you think of like the taxes on what he had to pay, $1,100 on weed.
Well, yeah, there's probably there's probably a specific additional sales tax when it comes to
exactly
that product, right?
Probably had they had an additional tax on top of that.
Yeah, but from what I understand, it's not hard to become a fucking cropper, right? A cash cropper with marijuana. But then if you can do that and then use your own product, I mean, if you're growing something in the backyard and you pluck it off, you don't have to and just smoke it right there while you're working. What's to say that how are you gonna catch somebody on that? And I don't see why you should be like harping on these cash croppers and what they do on the side as far as like their own medicinal use of their own cash crop. If, for example, if I were to have my own cash crop, if I were to have my own cannabis farm, but I'm also using that product, you're going to tell me I can't use my own product. I got to go to the dispensary next door for my own medicinal stuff. Like, if it's legal in this state, and I'm also like a certified cash cropper, and think about potatoes. Like if or think about corn farmers. You think they don't eat their own corn? Like harvest time, right? I'm sure they have their own supply of their own corn. They have their own corn on the cobs at their own farm for dinner or lunch or picnics. I'm pretty sure corn farmer Bob doesn't drive 5 miles to go get a basket of corn from corn farmer Ted when he's got a whole Obviously the government wants a little bit of piece of the puzzle, a little bit of piece of the pie. But I mean, you can't really help that. You know, you can't really stop that. I mean, the government is what it is, but there's ways around it. I mean, the rich, what was it? Man, I was just watching, there's this YouTube series called Timeline. Actually, the YouTube channel is called Weird History. The YouTube channel is called Weird History, but they have different kind of like shows and series within their channel. And one of them is called Timeline. And they started from 1980, and I think they're up to 1998 or 1999 now. And so they were talking about, I think 1988 or 1989, and this what do you call it? An heiress, like a rich woman who inherited all this property, all this land in New York. Or was it California? Now I'm fucking up. But anyways, she was pretty well known. And and then she got hit for tax evasion. And she was one of her staff members, like her servants, whatever you call them, maids or female butler or whatever. It was a woman that testified that overheard her on the phone saying, like, you know, we don't pay taxes. Those are for the little people. So she got hit hard with some, you know, back taxes. So, you know, as long as the rich are paying their due as well, but the rich are always trying to find ways out of these. I don't understand how these tax deductions work. If let's say I'm rich and I'm dumping $1 million into a charity, that how does that fucking tax break work? I'm still down $1 million. But then there's an additional tax break that I don't get. I just don't get it. Maybe the tax break is that I'll save $3 million in taxes that year or something, if I dump 1 million into a fucking charity.
Yeah, I mean, just like when you donate stuff to like Goodwill, you know how they give you a receipt, they itemize it, and then you submit it into the IRS.
Mm-hmm.
I've donated, say, X amount of dollars to Goodwill, Purple Heart, all these different organizations, and they give you some type of tax break on that, you know?
Yeah. Well, you know, dude, I got a funny story with that, because I had a family member, right? I had a family member, and she was much older, but she had, like, you know, her control issues and and all that stuff, right? So she was like, I need your help cleaning out the attic and cleaning out the basement, bag all this stuff up. And I was like, okay, but how complicated is this going to be when I come over? How much meddling are you going to do while I'm there? Or do you already know what you want me to grab and take? So I get over there, and what should have been like less than an hour thing was like a 5 or 6 hour thing. She's like, and then she was like, I want you to go to exactly the Goodwill in Crofton. And I'm like, that's like a 30-minute drive there. And then they got to count it, and I got to wait there. And so I just drove down the street to one of those yellow boxes. You know, those yellow boxes you just throw old clothes in.
Yeah.
You don't get a receipt for that. But I was like, dude, at this point, I've been here 5 hours. You should have done already all this. So I just drove to those yellow boxes, started throwing all the stuff in those yellow boxes. I get home, I sent her a text. Hey, I just dropped them in the yellow boxes. There's not going to be a receipt for all that stuff. You just made it too freaking complicated. You just made it too freaking nightmarish. I'm not driving all the way out to Crofton and then sit there while they sort shit and they itemize it, and then they come up with that tax deduction freaking.
Yeah, just like when you go to Goodwill, you know, you got.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've done it. I've dropped stuff off at Goodwill, but it took me 5 minutes to bag up all this stuff. And it takes my wife like 10 minutes to bag up all this stuff. I drive it to Goodwill. That's the longest part. But me going over to this one family member's house, it should have been 30 minutes to an hour to get all this stuff, to bag up all this stuff. And it was like 5. Like, didn't you already go through this stuff? And it's like, yeah, I need to go through it again. And then I need to go through it again. Like, this is taking too long. And now you want me to drive all the way out to the Goodwill in Crofton and wait there for God knows how long for them to sort it and type up the receipt. Like, I'm not doing that. You know, some people have like their crazy ways, and me, I'm a much simpler. I try to keep stuff simple. Keep it simple, silly. KISS. Keep it simple, silly. And just throw the stuff in a bag. And there's a yellow box right there. Listen, how about like just knowing in your heart that the stuff's going to a good place, even though you're not going to get a tax deductible receipt. Just put it in that yellow bin. Oh my God. Overcomplicated stuff, man. So Vanilla Ice is rapping again. So there's this, you sent me a music video of Vanilla Ice rapping with two guys. And again, this is why I need like the screenshot. This is why I need like my full throttle studio back at the home studio. This is like my double remote, my on location in the field remote podcast studio. So Vanilla Ice is rapping. That was his track, right? That was his music video. And he had two guests on there.
Yeah, actually, Don sent me that video. It's with Kodiak Black and Forgetta.
So Kodiak Black is the one, I guess, singing on the track.
Yeah. But
he was, the whole music video, it was him showing up to a house party. It was like this huge ordeal that he was showing up to this house party and everybody's surrounding him, but he didn't do anything on the track. I just didn't understand the music video because like.
I'm playing it right now. You hear it?
And that's all Kodiak Black does is like talking this intro. And that's Kodiak Black singing, right? Is that Kodiak Black singing? All right, turn it up, turn it off, turn it off. So I don't want YouTube to hit this podcast, but that's him singing, right?
Yeah.
Is that Kodiak Black singing? Because like that's all he did. He sang like a hook and they put it on repeat. But the whole music video, you barely saw Vanilla Ice and you barely saw that other rapper that does a whole freaking verse. Everybody's like surrounding Kodiak and taking videos and taking pictures. Like the whole music video was just him. But he didn't do anything in the track. Like I didn't get the direction of the video. Not like I'm the world's greatest music video director. I might be if I ever get a track to do another music video for.
Well, I don't know how they got together for this video, but
I mean, listen,
it's like a pool party, typical rap video with, rented vehicles and
probably a rented mansion.
And flashy jewelry.
That's probably a $2,000 a day Airbnb right there.
Video, a Bentley.
They probably Airbnb'd that for a day and a half.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's probably like $2-3 grand. Scoop up that Airbnb real quick. I just didn't get honestly, I did not get the direction of the video because he doesn't do anything in the track except for like he sings that one hook that they basically looped it. But it's like he's like this super mega star at the party that everyone's surrounding him. I mean, I guess Kodiak Black's a big deal. I've never really heard any of his stuff, to be honest with you. Anyway, what's next on the what's next on the horizons, my man? What's next on the horizons?
Hopefully the show will get picked up, man. What I'm hoping for.
Sinister Infinite comes out. Sinister Infinite season. See, I should know this by heart, right? Kind of screwing up. But let's take a look. Are you playing a track? Because I don't want YouTube to kick this podcast. You can't be playing music unless it's your music. Sinister Infinite season 3 premieres September 3rd, 1 p.m. YouTube. Yeah, man. So just, I'm just trying to push out Rogues Gallery and Sinister Infinite to like the respective networks, man. Respectively.
Yeah, that's awesome. Excited.
Hopefully someone picks it up. I think it's a great show. I think it's a great idea. It's a great gimmick, like it's essentially origin stories shot in the vein of those crime shows. So, but until then, it's going to continue to be a semi well received, semi watched. God damn. I mean, like, yeah, the views are what they are. You got to get exposure, man. You got to get exposure. You got to hit something that works. You know what I'm saying? You got to hit something that works. But listen, I mean, the views are what they are. But until then, it's just Rogues and Sinister is just going to be a web series on YouTube. So see where it goes from there, man. Continue to work on new and different projects and keep expanding, man. So
yeah, you got to keep expanding.
Yeah. Well, listen, I mean, it was pretty dope. Any last pointers? Any last what's next on the agenda? What's the next set of plans for TechFall? Any last pointers? What do you got?
Focus on fitness and just eating healthier, getting out there, riding a bike and get back into weight training.
Flat stomach right now.
I think that's what a lot of people's focuses are lately in fitness.
It's the new dad bod right now, buddy. Flat.
Yeah, dad bods are going to go out of style and it's going to go back to people being fit again.
This is going to be the new dad bod, buddy.
Like the fitness went out the window for some people. I don't know what happened when the whole dad bod era came about.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, how they're like the paparazzi was taking pictures of all these celebrities. They're like, check out his dad bodies on the beach, like Ben Affleck with his dad bodies on the beach. We got to film him. We got to take a picture of him. We got to expose his dad bod.
The guy's off. Taking a break. I mean, the guy gets into great shape when it's time to work.
Well, Leonardo DiCaprio, they got him on the beach with his dad bod. They're like, look how fat he is.
God, look how fat he got. Like, dude, leave the guy alone, man. He's trying to have a good time. I mean, he's on vacation. He's not worried about all the crunches and all the ab workouts that.
Or Val Kilmer, they really exposed him.
Leave that man alone. Leave Leo alone.
Like he went from Batman to Fat Man.
and then back to Batman, and then back to Batman again. Don't sleep on Ben Affleck, man. He starts getting into those workouts. Well, he did that movie where he played an alcoholic basketball coach, high school basketball coach. I wish I could remember the name of it. It was a pretty good movie. But he gained, I mean, listen, a lot of these paparazzi don't realize these actors might be gaining weight and purposely getting out of shape for a role. I mean, you can't be like Stallone and just stay in shape 24/7. But Stallone gained like a dad bod, like a gut. He gained a gut on purpose for Copland. Yeah. And I think he lost that gut in like less than a month. They want to talk shit about Stallone all the time. It's like he'll pack on the pounds for a role based on that role, and then he loses again for the next Expendables or the next Rambo or the next Rocky or the next Guardians of the Galaxy or the next Suicide Squad. Get all shredded and jacked. He got huge for the Suicide Squad, though. You should check out the Suicide Squad. He got huge. I don't know what he did, but he got jacked.
Probably eating a lot of protein, man. Taking protein shakes, eating like 8 eggs for breakfast.
It was a good, yeah. Eating, what was it? Oh, and then Durko sent us that picture. Was it you or Durko that sent us that picture? Stallone still has the turtles from Rocky 1.
That was Durko.
He still has those turtles in a little aquarium,
Yeah.
tritarium, whatever a turtle cage is called. Because I don't think it's an aquarium, is it? What is that called? Because it's like what? It's like half aquarium, half something. It's like a fish tank with some water, but some other stuff in it. Turtle cage. Turtle cage. Name. I don't care. I don't really give a shit anymore. Anyway, yeah, man. Rogues Gallery, you know, season 3 ended a couple weeks ago. Season 3, Sinister Infinite comes out September 3rd. Yeah, man. Any plugs, links, socials you want to put out there before I click stop here?
Instagram at Zombie Squad 211. Check us out at deadonpictures.com. Check out some of the merch we got. Got a lot of new shirts, tapestries, cell phone cases, laptop cases, stickers,
Pins, masks, mugs, coffee cups,
shirts.
cars, planes, billboards, uniforms. I got to work on hats. I think hats is like the next thing.
Yeah, you definitely got to get some hats.
Yeah, but the one shirts and all the other merch doesn't have hats and it doesn't have patches. I want to get patches like army style Velcro combat patch, like kind of like the combat patches. Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, this was kind of fun, kind of lame. A lot of technical fucking issues today. Fucking Wi-Fi sucks, man. It's not me, man. It's not me. Well, hey, don't go anywhere, bro. Yeah.
Or you could just put a technical difficulties thing on there.
I'll just keep maybe I'll just keep the technical difficulties thing up here the entire time. And it'll just be an audio show. And it'll just say technical difficulties for like an hour and a half. It's shit, man. You just can't win. Just can't win. But hey, I'm not gonna stop trying. I'm gonna keep trying to make this show happen, you know. Maybe someday somebody will watch it. All right, don't go anywhere, man. We're gonna chat off.